His car was worth more than the station itself. Yet when he swiped his platinum card, it was declined. The cashier smirked, the whispers started, and all eyes turned on him. A billionaire, humiliated at a gas pump. But just as the tension hit its peak, two little black twins stepped forward. And what they did next left everyone speechless. Was it kindness, defiance, or something far more powerful? What unfolded that night wasn't just about money. It revealed a truth America still refuses to face. It was supposed to be a simple stop. Mr. Carter, a man whose fortune stretched across continents, wasn't used to being noticed at a small-town gas station. To most, he was just another driver, filling up his tank on a quiet evening. He wore no flashy jewelry, no entourage trail behind him. Just a man in an expensive suit, taking a moment to breathe away from boardrooms and endless meetings. But as he pulled out his card, something shifted. The cashier's glance lingered too long. The silence in the room grew heavy. Outside, two young twins played near the curb, their laughter carrying into the night. None of them knew, yet, that this ordinary errand was about to turn into a moment no one would forget. The car machine beeped, loud, sharp, final. Declined. Mr. Carter blinked. Sure, it was a mistake. This was a man whose name opened doors in cities most people would never step foot in. A man who owned skyscrapers, fleets of cars, private jets. Yet here, in this small-town station, his wealth meant nothing. The cashier's smirk cut deeper than the rejection. "Guess money's not always what it seems," he said, loud enough for everyone to hear. A couple in line snickered. A man by the coffee machine muttered, "Figures." The laughter wasn't about a card. It was about him. About his skin. Carter tried another card. Same result. Another. Declined. The room grew colder, tighter. He could feel eyes pressing against him, not with curiosity, but with judgment. Each beep of the machine wasn't just denial, it was accusation. "Sir, if you can't pay, you'll have to move your car," the cashier said, voice dripping with condescension. A pause, then quieter, but sharper. "People like you always trying to look richer than you are." The words stung, not because they were true, but because they revealed what everyone in that room had already decided about him. It wasn't his wealth, his success, or even his mistake they saw. It was only his color. Outside, the twins had stopped playing. Two small faces pressed against the glass, watching the scene unfold. They didn't understand everything, but they understood enough. The billionaire was being humiliated, and no one was standing up for him. Carter's chest tightened. He wasn't used to this, being powerless, cornered, treated as less. His instinct was to fight back, to shout, to remind them who he was. But he knew it wouldn't matter. In that moment, his last name carried no weight. His billions couldn't buy dignity. The cashier leaned forward, voice mocking. "What's the matter? Not enough in the account." The crowd chuckled. Carter forced a smile, but his hands trembled as he reached for his wallet again. And then, silence. A hush swept. The cashier's voice rose again, sharper, bolder now that the crowd was behind him. "You don't belong here," he sneered. "Take your fancy suit and your broken cards and get out." Carter froze. The sting of those words wasn't about the money. It was about being stripped of dignity in front of strangers. The billionaire who had boardrooms hanging on his every word now stood powerless at a gas station counter. His throat tightened, his palms damp. He wanted to shout, to demand respect. But deep down, he knew it wouldn't matter. Not here. Not tonight. The laughter returned, crueler this time. Phones came out, recording his humiliation. In seconds, his image, the untouchable mogul, was reduced to a meme, a joke, a man they wanted to see broken. And then, the smallest voices cut through the chaos. "We'll pay for him." The room fell silent. The twins stood there, their coins and dollar bill trembling in their hands. Their eyes, wide but unafraid, locked on Carter. In their innocence, they had done what no adult dared. They chose compassion over cruelty. For a moment, Carter couldn't breathe. The billionaire who could buy cities was being rescued by children who had almost nothing. And yet, in that instant, they had everything he lacked. Pure, unshakable humanity. But the silence didn't last. Someone scoffed from the back. "Figures. He needs kids to bail him out." A ripple of laughter followed. Carter's chest ached, not from embarrassment anymore, but from the weight of truth pressing down. This wasn't just about a card or a payment. It was about a world where his worth could vanish the second his skin color became the only thing people saw. The cashier leaned forward one last time, voice low, venomous. No matter what you have, you'll never be enough. And in that moment, Carter realized the real decline wasn't his card. It was society itself. What he did next, no one in that gas station would ever forget. Carter never forgot the look in those twins' eyes. Small hands holding out a single dollar, offering more dignity than the millions sitting in his bank account ever could. He gently knelt down, thanked them, and refused their money. But the damage had already been done, not to his wealth, but to his soul. When he walked out of that station, he wasn't thinking about his card or the cashier's insults. He was thinking about how quickly a room full of strangers had decided who he was, and how two children, had been the only ones brave enough to see him as human. That night followed him. It echoed louder than boardroom applause, cut deeper than any financial loss. Because if a man with billions could be stripped of respect in seconds, what did that mean for those who had no wealth, no platform, no shield at all? This wasn't just his story. It was a mirror held up to a society still chained to prejudice. It asked an uncomfortable question. What does it take to be seen as enough? And maybe the most haunting part, the fact that it took the innocence of children to remind a room full of adults what decency looked like. So the next time you see someone being judged not for who they are, but for what they look like, ask yourself, will you be the one who stays silent or the one who steps forward? Because stories like Carter's aren't rare. They're happening every day on sidewalks, in stores, at gas stations just like that one. And the truth is, the real decline isn't in cards or accounts. It's in our humanity, unless we choose to change it. The question is, will we?